Go ahead.
Coach, how pleased are you with this as the overall
Well, I
game?
was pleased. I was really pleased with the defense. They played really well and played hard and played physical. Disappointed that they didn't get the shutout. That's hard to fathom, but that happens when you put got a lot of guys in there, hadn't played and couldn't line up and all kinds of things like that. But that happens.
When you have a game like this where the score gets out of reach, you're able to play some younger guys. Is this the kind of game that can be sort of a springboard to iron out the kinks that you've talked about the first couple weeks?
I didn't really think of it that way. I'm glad it's the first time, I think, other than the Nevada-Reno game in the bowl, that we've ever, had it secured. I don't think we've had a game in my, what are we into, 4 years now. Every game has been down to the end, so that's the first one we've had like that.
You talked about how you were disappointed that you gave up the shutout. Do you regret going for it on that 4th and 1 play down at the end, up 40-0?
No. Why?
Well, because
what
you
said it.
You talked all week about how fast and athletic Northwestern State is. Were you, given that as a backdrop, were you surprised that the margin was what it was?
Well, yes, I kind of thought that we would physically. I felt like the matchups defensively were going to be in our favor because I thought our front seven was pretty good. I was a little bit. I said we had to throw the football, to get be successful, and we needed to throw it. So I told the guys before the game that we're going to throw the ball, and so we got a lot of good things. I was a little bit, obviously pleased with some of the things we did in the passing game early. We'll get better looking at the film from it, and we needed to get confident in making plays down the field, and so that's what we're trying to do.
Do you feel like with the rotation that you had today with JJ and Kyle that's something that you may continue?
I kind of I've always been, when you have two guys like that I was going to play Kyle just in the second quarter. And if had it been a close game, JJ would have finished the game. I put Kyle in the fourth quarter basically because I felt like it was out of hand. But if it had been a close game, Kyle would have just played the series or 2 series, and JJ would have finished.
What did you see that led you to bring in Kyle in that second quarter?
I made the decision last Monday that he was going to play the second series of the second quarter.
Looked like you were wearing a rut in the carpet there on those short outs early on. Was that something that you figured you had going for you?
Well, it's a kind of a read route we do where the guys have some options, and the guys read it correctly, and we had it open a couple other times early, and JJ kind of took a shot down the field when he shouldn't have. But I was happy with the way the guys read the coverage and adjusted their routes. We had we dropped a couple big plays, and that was frustrating. But we did enough to win the game.
Can you talk a little about Zach Lyons' performance, and were you aware of trying to get him that record?
No, I didn't know it until we walked in here. There are obviously a lot of great running backs that have played at this school, and wow, that's pretty good for him. I didn't even know it until we got in the locker room.
And talk a little bit about Marcus.
Yeah, Marcus is amazing. He's a cult hero, now. I can see his statue being out there next to Doak with him blocking the kick.
Of course.
What was that used to hold him out there that you thought that he was showing to the
I was asking, did I see you waving to the crowd, acknowledging?
In his 2 starts, JJ doesn't have a touchdown pass. Does that concern you at all? Are you happy with his performance?
Yeah, I'm relatively happy with his performance. Yeah, I think he's could have thrown 2 or 3, but we dropped a couple and he missed a couple. But all in all, he stands in there and throws the ball, sees the coverage pretty well, and he'll keep getting better under game conditions.
Cole Beasley ended up with I don't know, 180 something. He came close to the receiving record for yardage in a game. Can you talk a little about his performance, and is he the guy that JJ has got the most chemistry with, or is he particularly looking for Cole?
The coverage kind of dictates where the ball goes, and those two guys, you know, Darius and Cole tonight, the way they were playing, the coverage kind of dictate that it'd go to them. So from that standpoint, you know, they did a good job. I was just looking at these stats the same as you, and you know, Cole did a good job. I mean, I keep telling him to, after he makes a guy miss, get out of bounds. You know, he's trying to make the whole world miss, which he may be able to do, but there's a time to do that and a time to get out of bounds.
Keenan Holman came out of the game with an ankle injury. Do you have an update on his status?
No, I don't. Just he couldn't go back in the game, so he was done.
And Chris Banjo too looked like.
Yeah, he had. I can't really comment on injuries, but he'll be okay for next week.
Anything else, guys?